Many thanks for choosing us. Rescue mission underway for 10 persons who got missing after fishing vessel sank. This is according to the Fisheries Ministry. So far, 6 people who were on board, including some foreigners, have been rescued. The captain of the Midday 11, a fishing vessel, is feared dead. My colleague Richard Kwejonyako has been on that beat for us.
The Midday 11 fishing vessel sank in the early hours of Saturday with all the crew on board. But fortunately, some were able to swim to a nearby vessel with the name Midday 6. The Midday 11 vessel is comparable to the size of an XTC bus and has both Ghanaian and Chinese crew members on board. The crew was said to be hauling a net that had so many fish in it. They had some difficulty pulling the net full of fish to the vessel. Around that same time, it was raining heavily, coupled with some thunderstorms. According to the survivors, the vessel could not sustain the balance on one side and sank with all the crew on board. The rescue mission began with a nearby fishing vessel, Midday 6, and the Ghana Navy later joined. They were also joined later by the Ghana Marine Police. The Navy has been combing the incident area and is still searching for other survivors. It's however uncertain the number of people that were on board the vessel before it took off, the number of people that are feared missing, and the number of people that have been rescued. Information gathered by Joy News from our sources indicates that there were 25 people on board the vessel, with more than half of the crew being Ghanaians. But so far, the videos that we have only captures 5 persons, 3 Ghanaians and 2 Chinese nationals that have been rescued, as well as the recovered body of the captain of the vessel. In the video, the captain's body is seen floating on the waters. The Marine Police are said to be investigating the accident and would not comment on the matter. The incident has left many observers deployed by the Fisheries Commission extremely worried. Per their terms of engagement, they are expected to police activities on the sea and report whether there are any irregularities that are perpetrated on the fishing vessels that ply on Ghana's territorial waters. Recently, one of their colleagues, Asian, got lost and has not still been found. Reporting for Joy News, Richard Kwejonyako, Cape Coast.
My colleague Richard Kwejonyako has some updates for us on this.
The only person that has spoken on record when after this incident broke is the Western Regional Director of the Fisheries Commission, and so he's been given further updates on the number of people that are currently missing and the number of people that the Marine Police are in search of. They have also provided updates on the number of people that were on board a Chinese vessel. If you look at the fleet of the vessels that are currently at Tema, you see the Midday fleet, and so you have Midday 11. They all belong to one name, and so if you go to Tema Port, you see Midday 1, Midday 2, Midday 3, suggesting that they all belong to one family. And so it was one of the Midday vessels that went to the rescue of the other Midday 11. And so more investigations are being conducted by the Marine Police, and they are tight-lipped on whatever the outcome is. And so they say that they would not want to speak in order to preempt the investigations that are currently ongoing.
Transport fares are up by another 20%, leading to commuters having to make further financial adjustments and wondering whether the surge in fares will ever end. Speaking on the AM show, spokesperson of the Concerned Drivers Association, David Aguado, justified why they are unable to work with the previous fares.
Spare parts have increased. The fuel itself, lubricants,
okay,
and then tires. Let me start it from here. Let me use the most common cars that you can see on our road these days. The Benz bus that we call Sprinter buses. And then Toyota Hilux. These 2 cars, I'm going to use them as an example. Sprinter bus engine was sold at, let me use the old currency, because for this place, I normally call the old currency, 110 million. Now it's going for 140 million. Engine.
So 110 to 140.
40.
So basically 11,000, now 14,000.
Exactly.
Okay.
When you come to launch up of the same Sprinter bus, it was going for 130 or 140, but now it's 220 and 240 respectively.
Okay.
The same car, gearbox that was going for 1,005. Now it's 3,400.
1,005 to 3,400. That's an increment of about 1,900 cedis.
Yeah. Steerage, Backhassel, even the plate that they use to mold, when we're going to body works, we use the governance plates that we buy.
Right.
Have also rise abnormally. Formerly, it was 140, but now it's 320.
140 to 320. Right. 180 cedis on top.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when I want to mention the past, let me go to the same Toyota Haze that I called for you. Toyota Haze that we normally call Toyota Fish in our circle. Toyota Fish, the engine was 9,000. As I speak with you, it's 13 and 14,000. 9,000, but now it's 13,000 and 14,000 respectively.
But energy expert Kwejo Poku says the unilateral increase in fares by the transport unions cannot be justified considering the fact that they have recently had an increase of 15%.
On the 23rd of February, there was a 15% increase in fares across the country. Are you aware of that? Hello?
I'm listening to you, Kojo. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just trying to come because we had this thing where you're saying since last year there has not been any increase. I'm saying that.
Kojo, don't misquote me. I stated categorically when you made mention of that, I corrected and said that it is not that there has been no increment. I said I was referring to major increments.
So there has been 15% increase in fares in February.
Right.
Okay. Now, nobody is denying. I have a car, you have a car. We all go and buy these cars, and we know how much prices are inching up. Nobody does not want to sound insensitive. But I keep always saying, there are two sides to a coin. One side is that, look, if we do run a business and there are challenges that we face, everybody does the same thing with their business. You adjust a few things here and there and see how you can basically get by. In February, you had a 15% increase. Now, between February and now, agreed, there has been a little adjustment in the fuel prices. Now, based on what your operations are, you have to set the government, which Ministry of Transport, who mediate some of these things within the unions and ourselves, to have that conversation. You cannot unilaterally increase prices. Because if we want to keep saying things that are going up, shock absorbers and all these things, I know you know, because you buy them as well.
My colleague Samuel Kojobris has been engaging some passengers at the Circular Donor station for their thoughts on the increment in transport fares.
But just said Ghana are adding too much. This year, I want to cost you or Memoha. Ghana announced a Bibia boy, Akosro. Free Aquablic market for a CCD 20%. Yet, Pabani Choya Bibi a advance design whom I Oma design the emblem for inside driver for no mobile. Omuye Juma, Omunyaska Bia, and J. Pabanicho, Oma design Petrunia ember for my
So he's also saying that things are hard for the drivers and hard for them as passengers as well, because today they've increased the fare by 20% indeed. Chief, Mpacho is saying, you have to say I told more first, no? Saying.
Actually, a higher par because last month now Matumu, this month now I sent to Mubium, some higher par. Cause yeah, it's not something that we are expecting. Yeah, we are expecting the price to be reduced. Now that they increase it, is something that worries us a lot. So that's about it for us.
So you are not blaming the drivers?
No, I'm not blaming the drivers. It's the government, because as the taxes increases, it affects the drivers. Their fuel prices also increases. So as the fuel price, they also be forced to increase their prices.
The other time, the president said if the government reduces the taxes, we will lose some 4 billion cedis, which of course would affect the development they will give you. What do you make of it? If government says, okay, I can't reduce the taxes because I need to develop the country.
Okay, actually every day they are talking about development, but we are not seeing any development in the country. So what development is he talking about?
So he is questioning the sort of development the government is talking about. Let me know your thoughts.
But it's too much. We were told the GPTRU will meet the government and come to agreements on Wednesday. But all of a sudden they've increased it. And we don't know how to do it, so we have to pay.
Well, so now government says these taxes they are calling for their removal, it will be difficult to do because it gives money to the state to develop the country.
Are you talking about the e-levy?
No. The petroleum prices. The GPRTU are calling for government to remove taxes. Government says it will be difficult.
Yes, they have to reduce. The government have to look at it. Looking at the economic situation in Ghana now, salaries are not increased, and the fuel keep increasing. Automatically, things will increase. So the government have to see to it that have to see and reduce some of the taxes to make us comfortable.
There's been increment in the fares, right?
They have increased the fare.
Okay, so that's it. They've increased your fare.
I have not paid yet, so I don't know. Then it's too much for us. We know if we complain again. It's too much for us. Yes.
So if the government is looking at you now, what would you tell government?
And the government for reduce the fuel, so that everything will be cool for us.
You heard there some passengers interacting with Samuel Kojo Brace. Now, the Road Transport Coordinating Council is urging the general public to disregard the proposed 20% increments. In the last few minutes, it has issued a statement. I'll share excerpts of that statement with you. And it says, we wish to inform the general public, commuters and drivers in particular, to disregard the purported transport fare increase of 20%. Wish to state that transport fares has always been negotiated for and on behalf of all operators by the Ghana Road Transport Coordinating Council and the Ghana Private Road Transport Union. No single union or group have the capacity to determine the quantum of increase except the two bodies mentioned above. We therefore wish to inform the operators and the general public that the Transport Minister has indicated its readiness to meet with the leadership of GRTCC and GPRTU on Wednesday, May 11, 2022, to commence discussions on our proposal for fare increase. We want to reiterate that the GRTCC and GPRTU have not divorced from standing protocols for fare increase. It is herefore unjustified for any group of persons to stampede the process to announce fare increase without reference to the standing protocols. Wish to advise the public to disregard any increase and the drivers to desist from charging any new fare as we continue with the discussion on the appropriate adjustment, which will be signed by the representatives of the GRTCC and the GPRTU and communicate same to you. And it is signed by the General Secretary Emmanuel Ohene-Yeboah. So this comes on the back of fare increase, transport fare increases at 20%. David Aguado, who represents the commercial drivers, indicated earlier that now fuel prices have increased, parts of vehicle. If you're looking for parts like hub, like the he mentioned a number of them that are very expensive. He mentioned that they used to buy it at a certain price, but the prices have more than doubled if you go to Abusokai and all other places, Magazine, and all the other places that they sell spare parts. So he says that to cushion the drivers and commercial vehicle owners, they have had to increase the fares by 20%. But the Transport Coordinating Council says that they have no locus to do that because it is the GRTCC and GPRTU, these two bodies are the only people who can actually agree on how much to increase on the transport fares. Let's speak with General Secretary of the GRTCC, who is Ohene-Yeboah, who has just joined us this afternoon. Good afternoon to you, sir. I'm grateful for your time.
Good afternoon.
You are asking the public to ignore the increase, but if you listen to the interview my colleague had with some people at Circular Dona, it has already taken effect.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. You see, the issue is that once this announcement is put into public domain, and because it has to do, people will rush for it. But I don't think that it's made. That's why we've advised the public to also insist on doing what's right.
Hello, Mr. Eboa.
Hello, can you hear me?
If you could come again, please.
What I'm saying is that once it's money and it's put into the public domain, and if a group like DPIT coming out with such a statement, obviously people will jump to grab it. But we are saying the process of increase is not legitimate. So the public should ignore it and sit and wait to number of measures and the actual percentage increase. Because we know that as a practice, the DPIT
Mr. Eboa, can you reposition yourself for me? Your line is breaking.
I am still in the center. Can you hear me now?
It's better.
Okay. What I'm saying is that the GPITU, the GRTCC, and the Ministry of Transport are these three people what price percentage we can increase. But as far as you, nothing.
We lost Ohene Eboa there. He's the General Secretary of the GRTCC, and he's been explaining why one single union cannot go ahead to charge or increase transport fares. So he says it is GRTCC and GPRTU are the only bodies that can agree on what fares. And the statement has already indicated that they're scheduled to meet the Minister for Transport on Wednesday to agree on a proposed increase in fares. The question I posed to him is the fact that it's already taken effect at the lorry stations. Mr. Eboa, are you back on the line? Hello, Mr. Eboa? We'll try and get him back, but he made the point clear that the public should ignore that announcement. But I'm going to ask him how they intend to bring sanity at the lorry stations, because it definitely not going to look easy. Is Mr. Eboa back on the line? All right, so we'll bring him as and when we have him. Let's move on to other stories. The Greater Accra Regional Hospital has conducted a groundbreaking surgery which enables the senses of patients to stay awake and functioning whilst the process is ongoing. The process, called brain mapping surgery, will also ensure the surgeons find the exact places where the tumors are found, remove them without affecting any other tissue, and also ensure any senses which is affected during the surgery are corrected before it's over. Hannah Odame was at the facility when the first of its kind of surgery was conducted, and has this report.
It was in late October 2021. 60 years old Mr. Eboa had a terrible splitting headache. After some days of enduring the pain, which painkillers could not heal, he began to have difficulty walking.
Even when it started, I used to go to work. But coming back home or going, that's where the leg problem comes. If I walk from here to this, I have to find some place to sit. I have to relax more before I get up again and then continue with this.
Initial scans did not indicate any life-threatening issues, but the pain lingered on. It was at the Greater Accra Regional Hospital that doctors detected that Mr. Eboa had a tumor in his brain.
To be able to remove it and cause less damage to vital structures, we needed to do what we call brain mapping and stimulation throughout the surgery. And this is something we usually don't do here in Ghana. It's done in other places, and we thought that if we collaborate, we should be able to get this kind of surgeries done, and we did that for the first time in our country.
The intraoperative brain mapping. This surgical method will enable the surgical team to find clear borders to the tumors and also remove them. Without the intraoperative brain mapping, the condition will be declared inoperable because the tumor is too close to areas of the brain that control the vision, language, and body movements. Every surgery is different. This particular one is even special, requiring new technology and special dexterity for the lead surgeon and the rest of the team.
The next phase of this is how to use the navigation, the neural navigation, to really locate the tumor and use that to do targeted surgery. Okay, so now we have the patient completely, his images, and every point that we touch, and this will also help us during the surgery itself, so we can easily target it. Exactly know where the tumor is to get it removed.
Their confidence is boosted with the presence of a team from the Foundation of Orthopedics and Complex Spine Focus Hospital. The hospital enhances access to optimal surgery and non-surgical care for patients with disabling musculoskeletal disorders, including complex spine deformities and pediatric orthopedic problems. They have also conducted awake surgeries on the spine of many patients. But of course, the first for brain tumor in this instance.
So the goal of this deep brain testing is just for the doctor to be able to separate the tumor, which is the diseased part of the brain mass, from the healthy part, so that he doesn't take out the diseased tumor together with some healthy, so at some point he's likely to take out some brain tissue.
Science and religion is often in conflict. But here in the theatre, doctors, nurses, and the rest of the team say a prayer before the first cut, after almost 4 hours of preparing Mr. Yeboah for this process.
Lord, it is your hand that is going to do this surgery and not ours. So everything is secure. We pray against any complication in the post-operative period.
So right now we've exposed the brain, and we're going to stimulate the brain to see the different areas. We can already identify the tumor. You can see here is tumor, here is tumor, this is normal, so you can see the difference. Okay, I've changed position. Try, let me see. Get me a small needle length.
After over 12 hours, the tumors, which gave Mr. Yeboah the headaches and also made him almost completely paralyzed, is over. For Mr. Yeboah, getting to work again, hear properly, and not experience headaches is a miracle he will never forget.
That's why I first recommended the doctors, the nurses, and the listening that they have done a good job on me.
Dr. Kaba says the miracle that Mr. Yeboah is enjoying now can also happen in the lives of many others like him.
Realistically, Ghanaian medical personnel, they are highly qualified with the same abilities as to any other medical personnel in the world. The only restriction that they encounter, or sometimes we, so I don't exempt myself, encounter, is to have this kind of equipment to be able to get things done.
An damage report there. Let's go back to the increase in transport fares and speak with John Benyawo, who is Executive Chairman of the Ghana Road Transport Coordinating Council. I'm grateful for your time, Mr. Benyawo. I want to find out from you, this has taken effect already at the transport yards, but you say the public should ignore the announcement.
Yes, sir. Yes, madam. Hello?
Yes, Mr. Benyawo, I'm saying that you are asking the public to ignore the announcement.
Yeah,
but
we said the public should ignore it.
But this has already taken effect.
This is what we can tell the whole Ghanaians, that they shouldn't pay that increment. That increment is just around Accra that they are paying. If you come to Takwa, that region, nobody is paying that increment.
I'm sure you agree or you foresee the confusion that this could create, because if passengers say they are not paying, then definitely they don't want to get to their destination. Have you met the people who are supposed to withdraw the charges?
We've informed all the station chairmen and the drivers not to increase it. So anybody who increases it is not allowed to do that. You see, anybody who increases it, that means it's stealing the people. So we don't agree upon that increment unless you go to the minister and have a negotiation with him before you can increase it. So any individual cannot sit down and come to railway stations and say we have increased it.
So how do you intend to stop this? Because the drivers have already started charging the fares.
That's what we made the press release to them that nobody should increase their fare. So a letter has been sent to them, we published it, that nobody should increase the fare.
Do you have
passenger being charged by the new fare is not true. So the one shouldn't pay it. It is not approved by the council. So the one shouldn't pay it.
Mr. Benyawo, it's not that easy. For instance, if you want to get to your destination, you can't tell the driver in the face that I'm not paying. What if he refuses to pick you? How are you ensuring that the drivers are complying to your directive?
You see, in the transport business, there are people, some drivers, who always wishes to increase the lorry fare. And there are people who listen to the union, the executive chairman of the union. So those people who are collecting above the old price, it means they're stealing. They are stealing the people. Because this is not an official announcement by the council and the executive. Any increment should come by the council and the Minister of Transport. We all sit down and negotiate. This one is one man, so he only went to the TV station to announce without any approval.
Mr.
So
Benyawo,
if anybody sit down and say, I'm doing this, doesn't mean they should obey.
Do you have a monitoring team on the ground to ensure that they do not charge the fares?
That is why we made the press release. Say the police is holding responsible, but it is not allowed to. They are not allowed to increase the fare.
So you've reported to the police?
Yeah.
So any member of the public who is being charged the increased fares can report to the police?
To the police.
I'm grateful for your time. John Benyawo is Executive Chairman of the GRTCC. Let's move on to other stories. Former Member of Parliament for Midday, George Lowe, has charged the youth to equip themselves with soft skills in order to remain relevant in national development. Speaking at a fundraising event organized by the Leadership Experience Opportunity Leo Club to mark its 30th anniversary in Ghana, and to promote volunteerism among the youth, Mr. Lowe explained that the surest way for the youth to contribute to national development is to arm themselves with the needed information to be able to avail themselves whenever duty calls in whatever capacity they can serve. The small report.
The Leadership Experience Opportunity Leo program is the youth wing of the Lions Club International. Over the decades, the Leo Club has championed the spirit of volunteerism and service in the youth through community service activities, leadership training programs across the country. The Accra Sankofa Leo Club is the first to be chartered in Ghana since 1992. And as part of its 30th anniversary celebration is raising funds to put up a 2-unit kindergarten block for the Manfi Ajoko LA Basic School in the Central Tong District of the Volta region. President of the Accra Sankofa Leo Club, Emanuela Schroeder Atiamwa, explained the significance of the project to the selected community.
On this occasion of our 30th anniversary, we have chosen to put greater smiles on the faces of the children of the Mafi communities by providing Mafi Ajokwe LA School with a KG block. This school serves the children of Mafi Ajokwe and its neighboring communities from kindergarten to junior high. Yet, the KG block is in a deplorable state. So being here today, I encourage us all to join us, gift these young future leaders a conducive environment to study. Join us in service with your treasure.
Former MP for North Dai and founding member of the Accra Leo Club, George Lowe, charged members of the club and tasked the youth of Ghana in general to take advantage of such leadership mentoring and volunteerism platforms to contribute their quota to national development.
It goes without saying that the challenges of today were not the challenges that we met when we were Leos. And of course, in 30 years, a lot of things have happened. Unfortunately, the environment in which we operate today does not necessarily encourage young people to volunteer their time, their money, to do service. And the earlier something is done to go back to basis, the better for all of us. We are in the information age. Without information, you cannot lead. Forget it. Without information, you cannot lead. So I'm entreating you to make yourselves available so that we can motivate you, so that you can develop, so that you can get a passion to deliver. Remember that all the billionaires that we have in today's world became billionaires because they tried to solve problems of mankind.
Member of Parliament for the Beneficiary District, Alexander Gabriel Hotoji, thanked the group for the project and promised to support it through to completion.
It is a good news to the people of Central Town. I will pledge 100 bags of cement for a start. So that as we go along, because as I indicated, the common fund is not reliable. So that as we go along, whatever I should do for us to have a decent environment for our children to study, I will do it.
The project is estimated at 200,000 Ghana cedis. At least 5 communities are expected to benefit from the project when completed. Some new members were also inducted into the Leo Sankofa Club.
Poor and inadequate teaching and learning facilities at the Kulugona MA Primary School in the Northeast region are discouraging parents from sending their children to acquire formal education. This is according to the head teacher of the school, Bugri Ado, who says the school currently has only a 3-unit classroom block, 7 pupils from 18 communities in the area. Some of the children, he said, as a result of the situation, sit under trees and others in unfriendly environments for teaching and learning. Correspondent Elias Tanko reports.
Quick look, this structure invokes a scene of a large-scale armed operation in a war-torn community. But no, this is a classroom block for pupils of the Kulugona MA Primary School in the Eastman Proxy municipality of the Northeast region. Kulugona is a few kilometers away from the regional capital Nalerigu with a farm population dominated by tribal concumbers. This facility was being put up originally to provide accommodation for the school teachers, but in 2007, the school authorities then, in consultation with the community stakeholders, were forced to convert it into classrooms for the pupils in lower primary after the project was abandoned. Bugre Ado is the head teacher of the school.
Ever since it was built till date, they've not completed it. So we're using that one as our local lower classes, KG1, KG2, P1, P2 up to P3. But at a point we saw that the building was falling. So for the safety of the kids, we had to move those classes to the under the trees over there. So from that time up to now, those classes are being held under trees. And during the Hamatan season, because of the wind, we could not hold those classes under the trees again, because within some small time the wind will blow the blackboards out. So we now combine 2 classes in one, and some are even 3 classes in one classroom. So for now, that is how we are managing the situation.
Hassan Matthew and Yusuf Zurkaneni are now senior high school students thanks to the free senior high school program. They both completed their primary education here in this dilapidated structure. They recount the challenges they faced to complete their basic education.
We're still live on Joy News today. We'll take a break. When we return, we'll bring you the very latest from the world of business.
Hello, welcome to Business. My name is Daryl Kwao. Joy Business understands the recent intermittent power outages across parts of the country are due to gas shortage. The power plants that rely on gas have switched to light crude and diesel fuel oil to run their plants. Now, this is expected to impact on the cost of operations of businesses. There is more in this report.
According to information gathered by Joy Business, there's currently a shortfall or deficit of about 364 megawatts of power in the country. This has compelled the power authorities to shed load at Kaswa, Pokuase and Almaso power plants in the central, Greater Accra and Ashanti regions. The situation is said to have started 3 months ago and keep worsening. Joy Business gathers that Twin City and Sen Power currently run on light crude oil, while Scar Power is still down together with the combined cycle unit at Tico at Abuate in the western region. We further understand that managers of the Ghana Grid Company and the Electricity Company of Ghana over the weekend visited these power stations to ascertain the current situation. The operators of these power plants, however, promised to restore the load shed when gas pressures improve and additional generation units come on board.
All right, and we've got more on that story coming up on the marketplace at the top of the hour. Republic Bank Ghana PLC has indicated its commitment to safeguard its card business from fraudulent activities. It is introducing the Fantastic Four credit cards. Chief Executive Officer Farid Anta says the initiative will help reduce fraudulent activities and make credit card transactions more secure to enhance customer experience. He spoke to Joy Business at the launch of the bank's Fantastic Four credit cards. At the launch of the Fantastic Four credit card, the bank said the initiative is a safe and convenient way to make purchases and earn great rewards for the business community. The company's Business Infinite, Adeshe, and Classic credit cards are an easy way of tracking expenses and reconciliation. According to Farid Anta, the bank's Chief Executive Officer, the innovation will improve the efficiency of its operations.
Well, Republic Bank traditionally, where we operate, we are leaders in the credit card business and mortgage business. So HFC before, they're strong in the mortgage business. There are 2 products that really, hold people to you for a long time. A mortgage is a 20-year investment, 30-year investment. A credit card is something that you get maybe hooked on. It's the fastest one. You have it all on your accounts, on your online shopping. So the credit card is another product that keeps you very loyal. We call them anchor products. So we look to introduce that. Ghana, interestingly, has a very low number of cards. I mean, we have maybe about 15 million banking accounts. I think the last number, maybe in 2018, was somewhere around 22,000 cards, which is very, very low. Mainly because I think there's a concern about that default, people misusing the cards, but it's a normal thing that you have to educate. So I think there's a lot of scope for the credit card in the market. We have to be cautious how we do it, but we cannot keep it as a prestige card, you know? So it's a product that we think will launch us much further into the market.
Mr. Anta is optimistic the bank will get approval from the Bank of Ghana on payment of dividend in the coming days.
We have done everything. We have submitted the information. They would normally do some stress testing, look at your capital adequacy, if something happened, look at your liquidity profiles. So we are satisfied that we have met all the requirements. It's a process, and hopefully very soon we will be able to give the shareholders the good news that we have the stamp of approval.
The credit card accounts are available for Republic Bank clients that have existing deposit accounts, checking or savings with the bank. James Ishan's report for Joy Business. Business news for now. More news after this break.
Welcome to the sports segment with me, Ore Kuampofo. We do begin with some disturbing piece of news because players and the technical team of Tamale City were assaulted at the Chumesi Sports Complex after their 1-1 draw against Balfour Soccer Academy in the Division 1. That game was played on Sunday. Now, the home team, Balfour Soccer Academy, got the first goal in the first half, but Tamale City snatched an all-important late equalizer in the second half. But after the match, the away team, Tamale City, were held hostage for about an hour with all entrances of the park locked. The supporters of the home team then pelted the away bus with objects, and several players of the away team sustained various degrees of injuries. As a result, the Ghana Football Association is expected to crack the whip on Balfour Soccer Academy in the next few days. But we'll be doing some further investigations and trying to get more details on what happened at the ground much later on the Joy News channel when Sports Today comes your way at 2 p.m. But what lessons have we learned from the May 9 Stadium disaster? Well, as you may already know, there were 126 fans who lost their lives 21 years ago today after a Ghana Premier League game between Asante Kotoko and Heart of Oak. Herbert Mensah, who was chairman of the club at the time of the tragedy, is disappointed family members of the victims have now been neglected by government and the Ghana Football Association.
We have chosen a path that says there's a global standard. Has Ghana really exhibited the standard? No, definitely not. Has the FA over 21 years? No. Has the government over 21 years? No. But we don't care. We are there to do what we believe should be done and has been done. I'm in touch with the people of Hillsborough. I'm in touch with the people at Ellis Park. So I know what is done in different countries continuously to remember the occasion and the symbolism of the occasion. It is not about going to the statue at the stadium, laying a wreath and thinking you have done something. That is not enough. And it's not about money, but there are many things that could be done over the period of time. I just say there's a global standard, and you asked the question, I've answered it honestly to you. Football is such an emotive sport. There's progress, and sometimes you look backwards. Loss of life is something that can never be forgotten. But we have new dangers. We look at what's happening in football today, betting, gambling. The general standard is not what it should be. There are bigger issues, and I hope there's a symbolism from May 9th that we may look at football, but there are many things that surround it that we have to be concerned about, we have to tackle in order to get a clean slate in terms of where we're going.
Well, that's how we wrap up the sports here. You can get some more sports stories on myjoyonline.com/sports, or you can follow us on social media at Joy Sports GH. My name is Ore Kuampofo.
Time now for some latest updates in the world of showbiz. My name is KMJ. Rapper Edem has shared one of his biggest fears, and it's the fear of dying naked. The rapper, who's currently promoting his new song, Masheri, and also hosted the Industry Night on Friday for the 23rd Vodafone Ghana Music Awards. In an interview on Prime Morning, has this to say on what he's scared of in life.
I used to be scared of wall geckos.
I saw one last night in my room.
Yeah, I used to.
Dude, I'm coming from you.
Yeah, they give me heebie-jeebies, so I used to be scared of wall geckos.
But you're not scared of them again?
No, I think the thing I'm scared of now is dying naked. Yeah, I'm scared of dying. I'm not scared of dying, but I'm scared of dying naked.
Why? What is underneath that you don't want anybody to see?
Goods and services.
And that's rapper Adam over there. Now, new artist of the year at the just ended Ghana Music Awards, Kiddy says that there's no pressure on him after winning the much coveted award. In an interview on Prime Morning on Joy Prime, the Touch It hitmaker said he's not bothered about the pressure of winning the next artist of the year to make a point, but rather working towards releasing good songs for the fans, and that's what matters to him.
Yeah, we now they give on about the pressure in life, you know, like when I remember when I had my first hit, I kept getting this question: is there pressure on you to release another hit? After Say You Love Me, is there another pressure for you to release another hit? And 5-6 years down the line, we're still here doing hits. You know, if you put in your mind that you're just, you know, putting out music to make people happy and you're talented, certain things won't be like pressure to you. You know, it's just about having the right people around you. Like you said, sustaining yourself at the top is not easy, but surrounding yourself with a good team, people around you who are always like keeping you on your toes constantly, making sure you're doing the right things, going to the right places, you know, making the right songs. And it's always important to do these things. And even if you don't win Artist of the Year, again, you're still relevant, you're still making good music, you're still keeping the fire burning, putting Ghana on the map, you know, in your little way that you can. So.
And now to the Mother's Day celebration, which happened yesterday. And here at the Multimedia Group Limited, our sister station, Joy 99.7 FM, gave some of its cherished listeners a special treat on its Cook for Mama program over the weekend. Here is an excerpt of what you missed.
Madam, how are you feeling so far?
Very great.
And is it going well, or you are not so sure?
No, it's going very well.
Very, very well.
Very well.
Have you tried it?
Not yet.
But so how do you know you're just supporting your kid, really?
Just seeing the surface of the whole thing can tell you that it's going very well.
I see. Okay. So this is Madame Katina Panama Yenli. Right. She's just seeing what her son is doing and says it is going well. Well, I don't know. I cannot see. I don't have the foresight unless I taste it. So we're going to taste it after he's done. But I pretty much believe that it is going well since his mom is saying that. Something delicious is frying in this oil from fried oil. And then I can see some really good stew. Can you please open it? Okay.
Where do we
Not great. That's interesting. But I have your mom here. I don't know why your mom has chosen to, you know, be here when she's not supposed to. But Madame Kui Janet, that's the name, right? Your son, you know, Jerome, is doing amazing. As far as I can smell it, he says I don't know about that. But how is it going so far?
It's doing good.
You are sure about that?
And good one to all the mothers out there. And that's all we have for Showbiz here on the news. My name is KMJ. For more news, log on to www.maljoyonline.com. Aisha.
And that's how we wrap up the bulletin. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Enjoy the rest of our programs.